catalyst for change with the chance to thrive. Crystal is the one to stir up gifts and save lives. You get exposure, promotion, and marketing too. And advertise for business owners just like you. On Storytime, your interview is global. Virtual or in person, just come on the show. Yo, your story matters. Crystals will open the door. 40 years of experience, ready to give you more on Storytime. Get ready for Storytime. Hey, come on.
Good evening. Welcome to Storytime. I'm your host, Crystal, and I'm so excited to have a good buddy of mine here today. It's Sunday, November 30th, and I hope you guys are rested and didn't eat too much. And happy belated Thanksgiving to everybody. And we're going to have a good time tonight with Zakira on Storytime. So sit back, relax, and get ready because it's going to be a good one. Who is our guest tonight? Our guest tonight is the founder of Z Global, the social media queen. She's the owner of F2S Daycare. She's a powerhouse in the social media and business world, helping entrepreneurs find their authentic voices and elevate their online presence. Zakira has spoken on Fortune 500 stages and trained organizations in business, sales, personal development, and social media strategy, using her journal from struggle to success to inspire others to thrive with their brands. So I want you to just sit back, relax, and get ready. I'm going to tell you a few things. I'm going to move this picture from in front and bring myself up on the screen so you can see me. But this is the young lady that you will be seeing momentarily. And get ready, because she's going to bless you. She's definitely going to bless you. She has some great information. And I know it's going to be good to you when you do see it. All right, so I want you to be prepared. Well, hello there. Welcome. I'm your girl, Crystal, and I'm so excited to see you today. And happy holiday. This holiday season, y'all. Many of us just finished stuffing our faces, whether you were vegan or you eat meat or whatever it is you do. We hope that you had an amazing time with your family, right? It's family time. So we definitely want to hope that everybody had an amazing time with their loved ones. And we want to continue to just pray for those who may not have had family. All right. But again, tonight is going to be a good one. We have a young lady that is definitely going to bring us some great information. And we want to welcome you all over, okay? Whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you're from. And we let you know that Zakira is the founder of Z Global. Again, once we said she's the social media queen, and she owns a daycare, and she's a powerhouse in social media. So if you're somebody who's been trying to get some answers and trying to find out how to spearhead your business or even get started, she has a couple of resources available to you, whether it's a website or her book. And we're going to get all the information to you, and we're going to let you hear from her herself, okay? So get ready. Oh, we like to ask you to do a few things while you're here. We just want to let you know that this is story time, okay? Story time is where human beings connect through life experiences. And we just want to ask you to like, share, and comment while you're here, okay? We're usually here at 8 p.m. on Wednesdays and 9 p.m. on Sundays, okay? So listen, the other thing we want to say to you is share live. Share this live with 5 friends, okay? And we want to tell you also to just remember to subscribe to the channel, all right? Subscribe, all right? I want to go ahead and make sure that I get ready to bring up my guest. Now I'm hearing echo. Yeah, that just went away. Thank you so much. Because I'm hearing myself twice. I'm trying to figure out why that's happening. I see my guest in the room. So what we're going to do is we're going to get ready to bring her up, ladies and gentlemen. So I want you to get ready, and we're going to get a round of applause for our guest. And we're going to bring up Zakira and say hello. There she is. Zakira, hello. How you doing?
Hello, everybody. Thank you for the invite, Crystal. I'm glad to be here. How are you? Happy holidays.
Okay, I know what it was. I had the other device going on in my ear. I was like, why am I hearing this? I was on my ear. Good evening, young lady. It's been a minute. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Can't complain. Definitely one of them days today where you kind of just, got some work in this morning and came out and passed out. But for you, Crystal, I got myself together to be here, so I'm excited to be here.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But you know what? I remember when we first met. I was trying to remember the name of the pastor in the church. What was that church where we met at?
The Stone Church,
The
Colette,
Stone.
Pastor Colette.
Yes. Have you seen him? Are they still
I don't know if the church is. I believe they are, but I haven't seen them in person. But I do still see them online through social media, and we sometimes say hello every once in a while. And I just moved into this neighborhood this past year, and one of the old members, I do see Maria and Pastor Nick. They live
around?
really close to me, so but haven't seen them in a little bit, but definitely still wish them happy birthdays and the holidays from time to time. So, but it's been a little while.
I need
Maybe
to
even
try to
today.
look them up. I need to look them up. So they're on Facebook. I'll definitely do that. And I enjoyed that. And then there was another young lady that I met through you. Because y'all had that. What was it was a group and
Rich
it was
Before
something
30
30.
group. I think you're talking about Amy. Yeah, Amy
Amy, how is
Pittman.
she doing?
She's doing well. I haven't spoken to her in a while too, but from what I knew last time we spoke, we definitely she's doing very well for herself as well.
It's a very interesting group that y'all had too. Y'all
Rich
have
Before 30,
always
the Rich Before 30 group.
Yes, y'all have always been doing something that help individuals to find information, and so we thank you for that. I mean, it was always about that. And I see you have somebody, Terrence Holmes, is in the building. Hello, Mr. Terrence, how you doing? I also see Addie. Is it Adeline? Well, hello to you guys. Thank you so much
Hey
for letting
Terrence,
me
hey
know.
Addie.
Yeah, so thank you so much for being here. So listen, there are some people who may recognize your face and they may know you from some of the great things you're doing here in North Carolina. But I like to take it back, Dakira. I like to go back to the beginning. And there's some people who have never heard of you and never seen you. So I always tell people when I start out my show to tell us who is Dakira, and take us back to New Jersey, that little girl. Tell us a minute, who is Zakira Cassidy? Will you please?
Um, Thanks, Crystal. Well, I definitely started off in humble beginnings. I was a single mom with two kids, my sons. I had them pretty early. So I started off in New Jersey. I was just a young lady looking for ways to be at home, but at the same time, figure out how to generate the income I needed to have a household. So I was always looking for different opportunities, trying to figure out life, and I came across the very awesome industry of network marketing. So when I got involved with network marketing, my first company was Primerica, and I did everything they told me not to do. If they told me to go left, I went right. If they told me to go right, I went left. I still managed to figure out how to earn and generate income from that company, but it wasn't my company, if that makes sense, to really help me go to the next level. And so, but the beautiful thing that I did gain from being a part of that organization, and I was like 17 when I got started with that company. I stayed with them for almost 2 years, and I was introduced to personal development, and that really shaped me. That really shaped my entire life, and where I was headed. Then I had my second son, right, because my sons are only 15 months apart. So I had Zakir 18, Zaire 19, and it was I was just convinced. I remember sitting at the kitchen table trying to write out my plan. I put $10 an hour, $15 an hour, $20 an hour, and nothing really in New Jersey, if anybody knows, none of those figures was adding up to being able to sustain. And so that's what really got me locked into network marketing. um, so I was involved with that company for 2 years, failed miserably, made maybe about a thousand or $2,000 there, and then later got involved with a merit plan, which eventually took me down to North Carolina.
I'm gonna get you because you just skipped. You just said, sure. You just fast forward. I want to go back a minute. I want to go back because I would like to find out who was that little girl. Who was Zakira when she was in elementary? How was her upbringing when she came up? Was she a big dreamer? Was she talkative in school? Because now you're getting on stages and you're speaking for Fortune 500 company. So tell us, when you were little, what were you like as a little girl? Did you see this coming?
I was always friendly. My mom used to have jokes like, "You're gonna get kidnapped one day because you always like to talk to people." And I was very intuitive. Not intuitive. I am intuitive, but I was very inquisitive. I asked a lot of questions. Like my auntie, God rest her soul, Valerie she used to call me 2,000 questions because I would always want to know why. As a young, yeah, really young, like elementary school, I was a geek, and to this day, I kind of still am. Like, I love books. I love to read. The one of the first things when you walk into my house, you're going to see a bunch of books. Because I feel like they really can shape us, and I get lost in a good book. So
Yes.
I've always loved animals. As a kid, my grandmother, my grandma Joyce, you remember back in the day, the encyclopedias,
Yes.
so they used to
Yes.
have kid version ones.
Yes.
And one of them was for animal. I read that book like 6 times front and back, so I know quite a bit about animals. But I was kind of, it's funny because in the beginning, when I was like in elementary, I had a few friends, but there was a point where I remember I used to get a little picked on and bullied because I always was
Wow.
into my books.
Wow.
Till I got to middle school and I was like, wait, I think I know how to fight.
Uh-oh, you're coming up in the city. You're gonna learn how to fight.
You
That's the
have
difference
to.
between being up north and coming down south. So how did you get down here? How did you get to North Carolina?
Okay, so fast forward, I started to I talked about my first network marketing company. Didn't do well with them, but learned a lot about personal development. Then I came across a merit plan. And so I was involved with that company for almost 14 years. And then about maybe the fourth or fifth year, I started to travel to different areas. And we used to have these like guerrilla marketing teams, and we would like go out and do these marketing blasts. Back then social media wasn't big, so you would get the signs and you would nail them up on the poles and go to the big areas like Morgan Street in downtown Raleigh and pass out a bunch of flyers. And we would do that in different areas. And one of the young ladies you mentioned, Amy, was here in Raleigh. Well, she came to New Jersey first, and that kind of brought out the idea of let's travel to get our business out there, because we weren't limited to one area. Even though we were marketing discount health plans, it wasn't insurance, so it wasn't like you had to have a license in Primerica. You had to have a license in New Jersey. You had to have a license in New York. So you would have to go through that process for every state, where with the discount plans, you didn't have that stipulation. So I would travel back and forth down here, and I'll never forget, I was at Krispy Kreme Donuts, and right on P Street, and this little boy ran out his car. He had to be like 10 or 11. Ran out his car, grabbed the door and said, "Hold on, ma'am. Let me get this door for you." And I was like, that would never happen in New Jersey. And I love my people in New Jersey. But
Yes.
Crystal, I was 8 months pregnant at a mall, and I wasn't
Wow.
small, like big, and I couldn't find somebody to help me with my tire. When my tire
Wow.
blew at the mall, it's just a different vibe. It's not like everybody's standoffish in New Jersey, but I will say Southern hospitality is real, and that kind of put the seed in my head to want to raise my boys here, because that felt like a big hug. I mean, that boy ran out to
Yes.
get that door. When we would go out to the clubs were a little bit different. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying?
Yes. They
We went
were.
to Soulless. I don't know if Soulless is still around.
Yes. Soulless, Tremors, Plum Crazy, all of those. Oh my God. So
So
many. Kamikaze, so many.
Yeah, so when we went there, I'm like, Dad, I ain't have to like look behind my shoulders.
Yeah.
So it was just a different environment. And then unfortunately my grandma passed
Oh,
that year in 2013. And so that really did it for me because I was going to come 3 years before. So when that Krispy Kreme donut thing happened, that was like 2.5, 3 years before my grandma died. And when she passed, I made the jump and came to North Carolina because we would kept coming back like every 3 to 4 months, and I loved the vibe here, and I thought it would be a good place to raise the boys.
yeah. Southern hospitality is real. Now, was you like me when you first came here? When people started speaking to me, I look at them like, I don't know you. Why are you speaking to me? And that was like, what? Because it was
So,
strange.
so that doesn't happen in New Jersey often, unless they're older people, like people from the South migrated up north. You do that whole head nod thing. But for me, no, only because that was my personality. So I've actually felt home when people would do that. But I also still had that antiness from being from up north where you kind of like, yeah, all right, I'm gonna say hi back, but what you got going on?
Yeah,
You
right,
know?
right, right. Skeptical, like, okay, what are they up to? What's their
Are you
motive?
from up
That's true.
north too?
New York,
Oh, okay, I thought so. I thought so. Okay,
New
okay.
York, native New Yorkers. That's one of the things we had in common when I first met you. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I thought so. I just wanted I wanted to be sure because
And it's not much different
somebody
anyway.
if somebody say hi, I'll never forget. I was on a train going to Newark, and this lady handed me this book with sign language on the train. I'm thinking she just being nice, but she was like, "Yeah, now where my donation?" So that's why I'm saying it's
Yes,
different down here. So it's like somebody might just really be saying hi. I'm not saying that people don't do that in New Jersey. It's just a different. People just be in their own worlds out
yes,
up north.
yes.
Yeah.
So, and now the weather. The thing that won me over was the climate.
Whew.
I'm tired of the sheepskin coats and the winters and the heavy winters. The snow up to the knees and all that stuff. So I loved it here. My first winter here in shorts, I was sold. I was like, wow.
Yes,
See,
I
I
agree.
I attended St. Aug though. See, so I actually came here from 78 to 82, and I attended St. Augustine's College. So I had a
Oh,
history here because my family's from here. So that's how I came back. Because when my parents moved back here, I came too. So that's kind of how I did it. But so wow. So you were from Jersey. You got involved in network marketing. You talked about being a mom and having sons. How was that having two sons, raising boys, raising boys? I have girls, so boys are different than girls. I understand.
yes, definitely different. It was a blessing for me because it really made me look at men differently too.
Mm,
I was raised where, men not supposed to cry, they're not supposed to do this, they're not supposed to do that. Where once I had my sons, I'm like, no, this isn't healthy. You
right.
have to be able to raise emotionally stable men, and men should have a opportunity to have an outlet, not being crybabies. Of course you're supposed to develop them to be leaders and all that stuff, but there were a lot of myths that were definitely um definitely I don't know the word I'm trying to look for. It definitely was false myths about men and how they should be once I had boys. And another encouraging thing why I moved is because I really wanted them to just have a different vibe, because a lot of people in my family on like my mom's side, the women are very dominant, which is not a bad thing, but it could be. So I wanted to make sure that my boys also had that leadership within them. And once I got down here, I would connect them with other very successful men, coaches, put them in sports, and try to put them in as many activities, as well as be an example to them of what you should be like. So it was definitely growing pains, but I would recommend this book that really shaped a lot for my parenting. It was called The Secrets of Happy Families. It's a revolutionary book, especially if you're trying to like break certain things, like a lot of us have generational things, especially black
Yes,
people. you
yes,
know we have a
yes,
lot of generational curses, a lot of
yes.
generational baggage, And that book really helped me to do things like we used to have family meetings every week, and that was an opportunity for kids to for my boys to be able to say, "Well, Mom, when you did this, I didn't like that," or and you couldn't be rude now. You couldn't be rude now. You couldn't be disrespectful. But it was an opportunity for everybody to be able to say, what did we do right, wrong, and how can we get better? And I would have never gotten that had I not read that book.
Wow. And there are a lot of great books out there. And I know I'm gonna ask you about that when we go back to network marketing because there's so many good books. But let me ask you something. So now you've gotten to be a grown woman and you are so creative now. And I'm looking at you in this picture and I'm looking at you in this picture here because when most people see you, we know that we'll see different looks for you. And I want this right here. When I first saw this and I saw this look that you had, this signature look. Talk to me about who is this person and what is the mindset to be able to stand out and just create your own and be confident about it. Because this right here, when I first saw you, when I first saw this look, I said, wow, it takes confidence to stand out and be bold like that. Talk to us about that boldness that you have.
Well, specifically the black and blonde came from my indecision. So, in any words, like I would sometimes be blonde, sometimes be black, and then one day for I think it was my 36th or 5th birthday, my hairstylist had put little pieces of the blonde in my hair, and but it was on one side, but not completely. And then I was like, this might be cute on one side. And so that's where my signature look of the black and blonde came from. And I used to always want to try it out with Cruella DeVille too. That was so, like, even though I'm a whole adult, I tend to lean towards certain things like from back in the day, like Cruella DeVille, or like my dog named Rogue. I added Rogue to her name because of X-Men and stuff like that. A lot of people don't know this, but even Hello, Hello, Hello. I don't know if you remember the cartoon, The Land Before Time with the dinosaurs.
Okay. Okay.
There was a little dinosaur on there, and she would always repeat herself. She would be like, "Yap, yap, yap. Oh no, oh no, oh no." And that's where Hello, Hello, Hello came from, is because of
Wow.
childhood shows that I came from. So going back to creativity, I think if you feel like you should do it and you feel good about how it looks, I don't think you should care about what other people think or what have you, because if it's what you want and that's what you feel. So I usually tend to change up my styles based on my feelings or what I want to,
Mm.
what I want to embark. Like right now I'm in my really just laid back, chill mode right now. But when I want to feel like powerful, you might see my hair really big. You know what I mean? So it just really based on how I feel. I love to change it up. I wish this orange, like this orange color that I love. And that was just a week ago. So it just really depends. It's just a matter of being whatever you want to be, literally. And like this, I remember when I did this style, I just wanted to, sometimes you step into a room and you want to just stand out. And that's the style I was talking about. When she put a couple
Wow.
pieces of blonde on one side, and I was like, well, just keep adding it on and keep it on one side. And that's how that signature look came about.
And it looks good. And you have a book in your hand. So you've written a couple of books. So you became a parent, you became a business owner, you have a daycare, and you're author. So what came first when you went through doing all these things? Because I see that you're successful. You've got several books, and we're going to talk about your book. So what is it that you did first, and how did you go from one thing to the next? Because some people have trouble just starting a business and figuring out what they want to do. I know you did it because you needed multiple streams of income. You were trying to find a way to sustain your lifestyle as a mother. But can you tell anyone out here who might be trying to figure out how to get started to become an entrepreneur, what did you do first before you started doing all that?
Um, Well, I will say I had kids to feed, y'all. So I was so I was super creative. And it was just me. So But what I started off was in network marketing, and then from network marketing came my home daycare, and then from the home daycare, me being, and the reason why I started home daycare is because I wanted to be able to be both home and generate income, and the stars just aligned. You know, actually, I was actually on welfare, and I was at this in New Jersey on at this program, and I had opted into this program that allows you, that taught you, you know, you could work for the people who basically did childcare vouchers. Like some people get childcare vouchers or whatever. And I was the person that was processing the voucher. And then I remember one day I was looking and it wasn't a company name, it was just a name. So I started
Mm.
asking questions like, well, how come this is just why does this say Crystal Brody and not Frowns and Smile Daycare? And they were like, oh, because some grandparents can get stipends from us when they watch their grandkids. So that's when I got really interested. Like, well, what is this? And then I found out about the classes, and the classes weren't hard at all. It was a weekend of classes to get certified, or you could do the week. I mean, it's 2 weekends or a week. And then I started doing more research, and I'm like, wow, you know, if I really wanted to, and at the time, because I was home already, people would ask me to watch their kids anyway. So after doing some research, I had took another program. Again, I'm on welfare, y'all, at this time. I'm not in North Carolina yet, and at this class, and they're teaching us all the things that they're teaching me at network marketing. So I'm in these two different worlds, you know.
Right.
And I
Right.
remember I literally had an aha moment where I'm like, you know, you think, you know, that you're here, but you know you're going somewhere else. But I also had to, I was very humbled in that time as well, because it's like, you still are here with these people, you know, that's also on welfare. And in order to get out, we got to change up here. So, so then I started doing the research, and I remember I took another opportunity through this program, and now I'm being taught at a school. So I didn't have to go every week to this place downtown every week. I was going to work at a school, at a preschool. So I'm working at this preschool. Shout out to Miss Mina. She's the one who trained me up. She was awesome. And I was getting like $200 a month in stipends, y'all. Okay. Of course, I was on the programs and stuff, and I was getting help with the rent and those type of things back then. And then I remember they were supposed to hire me. And it wasn't Miss Mina, it was whoever was over her. I can't remember her name, but she
Yeah.
kept putting me off. And I knew that the program with the rent and stuff was about to be done. I only had like 4 months left on this program. And I'm like, ma'am, I need to start working. I need to start working. She just kept putting me off. Mind you, at this point, I already had my license for the child care. I already went through the programs, but I was scared to just decide to go on my own. But sometimes what happens when your back is against the wall and you don't have a choice, you just do
Yes.
it any damn way. And
Yes.
that's what I did. So I went,
Wow.
put out a flyer. I started walking around quick check with my flyers like, hey, I got a child care. I'm doing child care at my house. If you know some people who need daycare, I take the vouchers, blah, 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 blah. And I got my first 3 kids. And then I didn't even realize it, out of fear, that I was making more money with just three
That's right.
kids than waiting for this woman to give me this job that I was going to get paid like $9 or $10 at the time an hour. You know, and I'm able to be home when my sons got off that bus, or my sons were done for school at 3. Me and my kids were just, me and the daycare babies would walk down the street, because the school was right down the street, pick up my sons and go back home. So this denial of employment was a blessing for me, because
Yes.
her prolonging it over, and I mean, she just kept, if I go back, I probably still got the emails somewhere where she'd be like, oh, we
Wow.
still working on it. We still working on it. We still working on it. And I'm like, girl, like I said earlier, I got kids to feed. I can't wait
Yeah.
on you. And once I realized that the 3 kids was more than the $10 an hour, I was like, all right, let's do this. And I've been in childcare. I celebrated August 15 years of
Wow.
being in childcare. Yeah. And I stopped. It was, it could, when I was in New Jersey, it did become a little emotional, You deal with different parents. And I
Yes.
was going to be done with childcare. I moved down to North Carolina after my grandma died. And I took off about maybe 6 months from childcare. But I started going to the Stone Church. And then the first girl to ask me was Tamika. Hey, you still, because I was working with the kids in the youth department. And then I'm like, this must just be what I'm supposed to do. And then I
Yeah.
started doing the same thing here.
And you know what? People need reliable daycares and home daycares because it's a lot happening out there in the world. You see it on the news and everything. And so I know that I watch you when you post, and I could tell you love what you do. The children are happy, and you really are nurturing them. You're feeding them healthy too. I love that about
Yes.
you. Feeding them healthy. You're engaging with them, and I know your parents are very, very happy. So you can certainly let the people know the name of your daycare. If you're taking applications coming up for 2026, you can definitely put a plug in there for that too. I know sometimes you have to have a limit, but I just want to say kudos to you because you have definitely been doing an amazing job with those babies.
Thank
Amazing
you.
job, babies.
Yeah,
Definitely.
we are at capacity, but we have in the spring of next year, we'll have a few kids going to kindergarten and stuff. So they can, anytime you guys want any information about that, you can go to frowns2 smilesdaycare.com. So frowns
Frowns to
to
smiles, and
smiles.
that's what she does.
I'll put it in the comments too.
If you ever see the children with her, they are smiling. They are smiling. Now, I think this is a good time. I know that you do one other thing also, and you during your downtime. But I took the liberty of taking a few pictures that I saw to create a slideshow of some things that I've seen that you do, and I think this would be a great time to see it. And I see Z Truth Podcast is in the building. Z Truth Podcast. Is that the podcast that you do also? Because I
Yeah,
know.
that's my podcast. I didn't realize that it was going to pop up. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, yeah. Z Truth. Okay. Smiles. Okay, definitely. Uh-huh. And once again, Trevor says hello too. You got Trevor there.
Hi,
But let's
Trevor.
take a moment for the people and just show a little something about what we put together to just throw a little bit about who is Zakira. And check this out, y'all. I just got a little something to show you. I think you'll enjoy this. One moment. Let me see if I can get this in here. And I think you're going to get a kick out of this. All right, sit back up.
Oh, I'm crying. Oh, that's not to say.
Man. And so I noticed in there,
I was
that
like, damn, I do too much.
now I gotta speak to this a minute. So you also not only write and everything, but oh my goodness, you you play football, your mama, and you get out there on the field. Girl, talk to me about that. When did that come about? How did you start doing this? Because this is amazing.
I've been playing. I'm going into my ninth year. It's funny because who I was dating at the time told me that you're not going to play no football because I saw it on Instagram and he said it in front of my boys and I was like, what? And so I went to a practice and I promise you, I would never think I would be that involved in flag football. The way that that's why I'm so tired. We had practice this morning. We got a tournament next week. And I'm at the point I've had two major, really one, but the first one was a bit of an issue too. But I had two major knee surgeries, so I'm getting close to the end of my career with football.
Oh,
But shout out to Gridiron Gang. That's my team. I love all of our teammates on our team. We have some incredible leadership with our captains, coach, and we're just working really hard with getting some hardware, is what we call it, which is a championship. We have again this weekend coming up. We have the Santa Bowl, which is with Baller's Choice Sports. And this year, every year, the entire football world comes together, and it's not just about playing and winning Santa Bowl. We all bring toys for the less fortunate.
wow.
So yeah, like you got teams that are 30 girls on a team, 15 girls on a team, and then you got 15, 20 teams times that by one toy each. You're helping hundreds of families and to bless them with something for the holidays. um
Can people contribute if they wanted to help? Is there a way to, is
Oh
there a place?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. The more the merrier. If you guys are on social media, you can follow Baller's Choice Sports. That's where you can donate. But yeah, if you wanted to donate the toys, if you wanted to get with one of us and just add it to the arsenal of toys that we'll have. And it's also a connection with the women's shelter downtown as well. So if you wanted to donate like toiletries or like socks and undergarments and things of that nature, you can do that as well.
So is it Baller's Choice Sports?
Yeah, baller. I'm gonna post it here. It's
Okay, good. So, guys, if you want to help out for this holiday, you can definitely help them do what they're doing to support the needy families. Are the women respected out there on the field with the women's football?
Well, yeah, I mean it's an all women's. So I play eights and also just started playing fives. That's just different. There's like a lot of different formats that you can play. I do play contact sport. I'm sorry, contact flag, which you can block from the breast up. So you are very much respected because it's only women on the field. But there are co-ed teams and co-ed divisions where the men and the women play, and to
Wow.
make sure the women are respected, like women, if you pass them the ball and they score, they get more points on a co-ed team. So you're more likely to want to pass it to the women and all that stuff. You got to be an athlete if you're going to be out there with the fellas. So
You have to be. I was going to say that. Have you played with the men?
yeah, no, I've never played I played co-ed one time, but I was just a center, and it was like 3 or 4 snaps. So I wouldn't say that I played, but it's a different ball game to play with a co-ed team. Even fives is a different ball game because it's
So what is that?
faster.
Fives? Because I don't play. So what is that? What is the fives? What
So
is the
eights mean it's 8 on 8, 8 on
okay?
one side, 8 on the other side, 5 on 5, same difference. It's just
Okay.
on an eights field, it's the same field size as a regular football field. But
Okay.
on seven and below, anything those divisions or below, that is a smaller field. So it's a quicker game, faster game. You got to be able to move that body. I'll be over here stretching for days, Crystal, for sure.
Wow.
But
So amazing. So listen, so she's a mother. She has raised her sons. On her free time, she gets out on the football field. She's daycare. But when you're not doing that, you also have created an amazing platform. I want to talk about this platform you've created here, and you're helping some women. I have it up on the screen just so you guys can see what she has here. So if you want to go to her website and check it out, it is definitely worth checking out. It is what you see on the screen. It's
Z Global Media.
zglobalmedia.com, zglobalmedia.com. And you can go there. You can get her book. She's written books. Okay, she's got this great book, 15 Social Media Secrets That Get You Paid. Now, before we talk about anything, people are on social media right now. Everybody wants to know how they succeed on social media. Can you tell the people a little bit about why you wrote this book and why they need to get this book? And because I think that's important.
Um, yeah, I wrote the book because I would get a lot of people. So, first of all, I got into social media because of network marketing. Like you mentioned earlier, we had a group called Rich Before 30. We were always around older people. And this is when social media came about. And we only knew the ways in which to get prospects was the old traditional ways, pass out flyers, door to door, KTs, all of that. And then MySpace and Facebook came along, and that's where I started trying to figure out, well, how can I find people from these platforms? And, I started to just, so back in the day when I used to play my cousins in video games like Mortal Kombat and stuff, I would just press all the buttons. Press all the buttons, press all the buttons. And that's what I was doing with social media. I would post this, post that, try to figure out what makes people engage, because that's really what the name of the game is online. If you're going to be on social media, it's not really about just the likes anymore. It used to be about the likes, it used to be about the views, but now it's about how do people engage with you, because once you can get people to communicate, engage, then it's going to really help you build a following that will buy your products and will support your events and will be a platform of influence where, I have a few clients who I do influencing for them. I might um, post something online that you might see me talking about a specific company that's probably a client that wants to use the platform to use my platform to get the word out about them, and the ways in which you get there and to build a following is what I talk about in these books. I wrote the book because a lot of people would ask me, and I would do, like you mentioned, back in the day we didn't call it podcast and we called it conference calls. We used to do conference calls, teach the different things. I used to teach people the concept, which I'll give on this show, which is called getting in where you fit in. It's the art of talking about your business without talking about your business. And in the book, one of the stories I tell is that I'm on a call with this lady, and I literally put some toast. At the time, I still don't use a toaster. I use the broiler. The back in the day, but if you want to toast some toast, I put it in the oven. And I put it in the oven, but I got a call, and it was a girl calling me that I followed up with for dental benefits. So I'm over here excited. I'm excited about to close this deal, and I'm about to close, and then all you hear is the damn fire alarm goes off, and I said, "Oh my gosh, ma'am, hold on one second. I'm at the credit card. I have to put her on hold because the alarm sound is so loud because I'm burnt up the damn toast in the oven." So I take out the toast. I still sign the girl. I go online and I say, "Dag, one of the disadvantages of working from home is that you'll get burnt toast." And I posted the picture of the black toast because it was burnt, and that's where the secret came about of posting about your business without talking about your business. Because that post, I recruited probably about 15 people from just that post, and that's a free post. I'm talking about my business, but I'm not really talking. Really talking about the fact that I burnt up this toast. But in between that, I'm saying one of the disadvantages of working from home is that you can't put no toast in the oven and then take a call. You know what I'm saying? And that intrigued people because especially in that era, today a lot of people work from home, but it was so foreign back then, to work from. I've been working from home for more than 15 years now, which that the last 5 years since COVID, yes, working from home has become a thing, but certainly not back then. Back then it was like, I want to work. That was the thing. Work at home moms were making six figures, selling whatever it was that they were selling, whether it was the discount plans we were doing, or if they were in Avon, if they, that was the trend to work at home. That was a whole hashtag. Stay at home moms that worked from home. Most of them you were married women, and I just took home the demographic of women who weren't, who were single moms who just was trying to develop the income they needed for their families and to be able to do it still from home.
And that's that residual income. A lot of people are working and getting a linear income, putting in hours and getting a check. And a lot of times they don't understand about the residual and creating something where you can just keep getting paid for it. And that's where the network marketing comes in too. And the
Yeah.
funny thing is, network marketing is like that too, where you don't really talk about it, but you somehow or letting people know the benefit of it, and then they too get attracted to it. So now, what is it that you're doing now more than anything? You're taking clients for your social media, and you're selling your books. You're doing your network marketing. What is it that is in the forefront for you now, out of all the businesses that you have?
Well, right now I'm not really involved in network marketing like I used to be, but I do still train for social media. I still take clients. So if anyone needs either influencing, or they would like to hire me or any of my team to help them to, a lot of people don't know how to start. You know what I mean? Like, they'll get an idea, they want to do it, but they don't really know where to start. And my best jewel is Google. But if Google not helping you, and you still need, because sometimes you just need that person to push you. We do coaching, we do one-on-ones, and then our next big event that I do annually is my vision board party that's coming up in January. And I love those events. They're one of my most favorite events. They're only $10 a ticket, and that provides you with food as well as your boards. And we all get together, and it's like a meeting of the minds. And we just plan for the year. We do it in January because it's the beginning of the year, and that way you can get all of what in which you want to manifest in 2026. And it's funny because I never forget, I used to do them with my sons, and I remember one time in New Jersey I was looking up on their boards, and I didn't even know it unconsciously. For Christmas, or maybe it was a birthday, I brought a Bluetooth, I think it was a Bluetooth speaker, or maybe it was headphones, but it was the
Yeah.
same exact ones that were on that board. And a lot of people
Wow.
don't understand the power of vision boards. There is a point, like I heard Oprah recently saying she's a master manifester, where she don't really need the vision board anymore. But everybody not there, right?
No,
But
everybody's not. Yes.
yeah, but if I believe you've heard the old saying, out of sight, out of mind. So
Yes.
I believe that insight in mind. So
Yes.
to this day, every month I still, some months I might forget, but for the most part, I would say 90% of the months, if it ain't all 12 months, it's definitely 10. I sit down, I write down my goals. I put them in different places because there's a power in writing. A lot of people,
Vodka too.
yeah, I love technology, but when you write stuff down, there's a commitment with mind and paper that I can't explain to y'all. But I'll put one, like I got one here, I got one in my bathroom. Then I literally, now I'm using technology where I will take a picture of whatever those goals that I wrote down and make it my screensaver. So
Yes.
again, out of sight, out of mind, to flip it and make it insight in mind. So these things that and I write in the present, like I will by December 31st do XYZ, and just write whatever those things are. And some of those things, I always try to consist in every area. Spirit, something, how many books I'm going to read, how many sales am I going to make, how many do I need new children, fitness wise, your mind, body, soul, and finances, what, and family, what in that area is your goal, and write that thing down. So the vision board, they say a picture is worth 10,000 words.
Yes.
So if you take that's you do those same concepts, and then you take a moment before the year, right when the year start, and you do these vision boards. And at the end of the vision, after you create it, we get up, we stand up, and we speak it. We speak out what it is that's going to be on that board, and what, and it's cool. Like, I got one friend, I never forget, she literally would um she wrote nothing but traveling, and she's been traveling for years. Shout out to Phyllis. I've never she we sat down together one year, and I don't know if she realized it, but I don't forget they vision boards, because and I remember she put Japan, all these, and she went to all those places,
And she
because you can't
manifested
just
all of it.
yeah, you can't just make it and then throw it in the closet. Like, if you go in my bedroom, that's the first thing I see when I wake up is my vision board. And you're supposed to
Yes,
stare
yes,
at it, look at it, and absorb it.
yes.
So that's the
That's the event
web.
coming up. It's $10, and I have it right here in front of the screen. You can go to www.zglobalmedia.com and sign up. It's $10. What date is it?
It's January. Dang, don't quote me. It's the second week of January.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me
But
pull
if
it
you
up.
go ahead and go to her website, you'll be able to do it. And I'm sure you have limited spaces, so y'all need to go ahead. She's been doing it for 10 years. And you have people with testimony that have talked about how this has helped. In the good book, it says in Habakkuk 2, write the vision and make it plain. So when you're writing it on the vision board, that's what you're doing. You're writing it out and you're activating your faith. Faith without works is dead. So all those things work together for the good. So you have to make sure you do that. Now, I
And it's
wanted to
January 10th, Crystal.
the 10th. Okay. Let me ask you this question, because I was network marketer too. Did you get a little burnout?
Yeah. So, there were some moments where I was burnt out, but that's what I find, though, when you get okay, in business, you got to keep things very professional, and, like, sometimes complacency can kick in when you get too, like, you become friends and things like that. And but you can get burnt out, because I did develop a really crazy sleep schedule. Even today, I be struggling with it sometime, where, like, because at the time, my sons, I would put them to sleep about 8:30 ish. But then at 9 o'clock, from 9 to 12, I'm on the phones trying to call other areas. Like,
Mhm.
California, it's still only 7 o'clock for them. 9 o'clock is the cutoff to call folks. So I would be up, sometimes till midnight, have to get right back up at 7:30 to start daycare, put them to nap, get back on the phones. So I was doing a lot of that. I don't know if I really got ADHD, but I think a lot of my friends tell me I do. But a lot of the reason I think, I stay busy, because if I don't, then I might get too comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yes, you can get burnt out, especially if you're not working the business correctly. A lot of people I know, remember back in the day, they call it garage qualify. You'll do
Yeah.
all these things to qualify for this bonus and that bonus and this bonus. And now it becomes too much. Now you invest in and not getting a return on your investment. When you get to that point, now you're going to get resentful, because it's like, what the hell? Like, I'm here to make money, not spend money, not keep. Now, don't get me wrong, you do need to invest to make money, very often, but it shouldn't be like that forever. You can't go years and years and years and years doing that. Okay, if I invest in this ad and it gives me this result, and I signed up 5 or 6 people, and now I got my money back, plus I made some money, then that makes sense. But if
Yes.
I'm investing in this ad, that ad, or this event and that event, and I'm not getting a return, then you got to either change up your method, or this is just not the right business for you.
And I agree. I was very active as well for some years. It's very successful, reached high ranks and did things and just went to a different phase of my life. So definitely has its pros, a lot more pros than cons. So
Oh yeah.
I enjoyed the journey. Let me ask you this. So now you also did a book. I remember following you with the healthy journey. Healthy is sexy. Remember that when you was on that healthy?
Yes.
Uh, That
Yes.
was really cool. That was really cool. You really you got some good recipes. You got a book available for that too, right?
I do. I don't like to promote it because there's a lot of things I don't eat that's in there
Okay.
now. I do need to
Okay.
update it. It is a book available called Healthy is Sexy. And I just have to take time to really revamp it. And maybe this show is what's going to fire me up to do it. But I'm very health conscious because I get offended. And I talked about this not this past week, but the week before that on my podcast. So if anybody wants to hear about these things, my podcast is on every platform: Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, however you like to listen, it's on there. Apple Podcast is on there.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah. And I get offended because I don't like how our health is here. Like, we one of the richest countries in the world, and we got trash food that's
Yes.
killing us and hurting us. And the education of our, like, we've been taught milk does a body good. No, it doesn't. Like, say it what it is. Cow milk does a human body good. That makes no sense. No,
Wow.
stuff like that, we've, and there's like 60 something. I literally just posted something on my Facebook page because it's these two white dudes in the UK, and they have a series right now where they're trying all the foods that are banned in the UK but allowed here in the US. So these like small things, we got to open our minds because they say let your food be thy medicine, and they when like we ate some of us probably ate heavy over Thanksgiving. I know some of me being tired contributed to what I ate. You are
Yes.
what you eat.
Yes.
And a lot
Yes.
of people, like, I'll see my friends sometimes post from New Jersey or different areas, and you'll look and be like, they don't even realize this plate is not healthy. And one of the ways that I talk about, not just one of the things I do talk about that's good in that book, is when you look at your plate, if you don't see a rainbow, that's a problem. If you see
Too much. Too heavy. Too
yeah,
much
if you
food.
see all browns and all yellows, that's a problem. If you don't see green, I mean, like, a lot of people don't know. You know, if you see a lot of whites and you got, that's not good. You got to expand your palate. Like, we got sweet potatoes. Eat some sweet potatoes instead of just regular potatoes. And then they got the purple sweet potatoes. Them
Mm.
things, they're a
Wow.
little bit more expensive, which I think they purposely do those things because y'all got to understand, you know, us being sick is $1 trillion
Yes.
industry.
Come
Cancer,
on
high
now.
blood pressure, all that medication, the
Yes.
pharmaceutical industry, that is
Yes.
a big business. So it
Yes.
is imperative that you stay sick
Yes.
in order for them to thrive. And
Woo.
excuse my friend, but that ish pisses me off because they're profiting off of our pain and suffering. And one of the things that really invoked that, I had to watch my grandma. She beat cancer twice, but the one that when I moved down here, when I was in the hospital, I'm looking at her plate and they giving my grandmother Jello and bread, and she's fighting for her life. Like, how is that supposed to really help her? And then traveling is essential because traveling makes you realize, are we really the richest country in the world? Because when I go to a different country that's supposed to be third world, their food is so much fresher than ours.
It is. It is.
Like, I shouldn't have
Thailand
to
and
go
those
down the
places.
road.
Yes.
Yeah, like, I gotta go all the way to New Bern to get to the watermelon lady to even get a sour sop. They're not even in the grocery, not Wegmans, not even Whole Foods sell it. So it's kind of like one of them things where, I used to go live a lot and show the recipes and teach people those different things. I haven't
You
done it in
did.
a while.
You did. I
But
hope you get back to it. I hope you get back to it because out of everything you do, that is important. That is so important, and it's
yeah.
so needed. That cure is so needed, and I know that you have your reasons, but please reconsider it because you were really,
It's just I
really
just
making a
got really
difference.
busy, and then I gained a lot of weight last year. Like,
So, what
after
you
I had
thought that maybe because you gained weight that you couldn't talk about it? Is that what you were
Yeah,
thinking? Like,
I was extremely self-conscious about talking about health when I had my first knee injury and then I had the second one. And I didn't even realize how much, but I did lose a lot of weight recently. just cleansing, fasting, eating really clean, and was able to cut down over 45 pounds, and still working on a few things as far as my body, because I'm trying to still be a nut out there on the field. But yeah, I
Can I
think
tell you something there, right there? Can I tell you something, please, without cutting you off?
yeah,
Don't you dare let that discourage you, because what you're doing is you're showing people that life happens.
yeah,
Life
that's
happens. We're
true.
going to have injuries, we're going to have things, but you still are health conscious. And
Yeah,
so, what people need to understand is how to bounce back when it does happen.
yeah.
So don't think that because you gained a few pounds take.
It was more than a few, but I will be transparent and say that probably was one of the reasons I steered away from that, because that thing, I didn't even have to promote that page. That page did it all on its own. It's still there. I still have, and from time to time, I won't go live, but I will do videos for people to show what I did make. Lives are a little bit different. They are good, but they disappear now for some reason on.
Every
I hate
30 days or something,
every
so that's
30 days. I hate that Facebook do that, but I'm assuming it's a storage issue.
it
Maybe it's
is.
storage or something, but you can always download it and
Yeah,
reshare
we
it.
got to repurpose it and do that. And see, that's something that people like you show people how to do, how to repurpose, because a lot of times we have some good videos that maybe Facebook is deleting of ours, and we need to know how to take it and put it somewhere, whether it's a Google Drive or somewhere, so we can go back
Yes,
because it's still relevant. I mean,
it
that stuff.
definitely is. And people don't read. People sometimes I'll read, and I'm glad you brought that up, because that's when in the book social media, one of the social media secrets is resharing and repurposing. Because one of the things that we do is sometimes we think, oh, I need more content. I need more content. I need more content. You probably have enough content. You know what I mean? You probably have enough already, and you think you need more, and you really don't. You really just need to, of course, new is always good, but in the meantime, don't let what you can't do stop you from what you can do. And if you have something, you can make it work.
Yeah,
Like a lot of those pictures I sent you, a lot of them are recent, but a few of them, like
yeah,
where I have the book in my hand, that's a little bit, that's like 2 years. And then
right.
the other ones are really recent, but you got to repurpose your content,
Yes,
especially if you
we have
still
to.
look like. Don't be catfishing folks. No, I'm just
Oh
kidding.
my God. But let me ask you this, because I know I can't keep you here all night, but let me ask you this. What are your thoughts about Chat GPT and AI? Because, whoa, that AI is something, isn't it?
Yes, I think I got a lot of. I have an opinion on it. I do think it can be helpful. It can be like your personal assistant. I just also think you got to be and it depends on your area. Like if you're a creator, you have to still, and the thing that's really cool about chat is it does learn you. It does learn
Ooh,
your lingo. It learns how you speak. It really becomes like a duplication of you if you
yes,
use it properly and you keep time.
yes,
Like one time I remember asking him to give me an overview, and I'm reading it like, how the hell you know that?
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's reading you, it's studying how you talk, it's studying what you're, and all of that. So I do think it's a very, very amazing tool. With that being said, there's always a double-edged sword to these
yes,
things where it does
yes,
somewhat scare me sometimes, because it's like, you don't want you I want everybody to understand when it's real and not. Like I
yeah,
remember I saw a video where they were showing this cat attacking this bear, and it looked real, but you got to use common sense. We know
yes,
that this house
yes,
cat is not scaring a bear. Where you outside with your cat one day and you like, well, I seen this video. You remember back in the day they used to have to put on the
yeah,
bottom of the videos, don't try
yeah,
this at home. They
yes,
need to do
yes,
that
yes,
with it. And I think
yes.
they do make you say if it's AI or not. That's my only thing, is like, my only fear about it is with the people that don't take the time to really think about it thoroughly, like, is this real or fake?
Like the
That's the
older
only.
generation. Let's go ahead and call it what it is. The baby boomers and older people. Because I have contacted my daughters and said, "Hey, there's a new movie coming out." They was like, "Mommy, that's AI. That's an AI trailer." I was like, for real? They said, yes, mommy, that's not real. I was like, what? So
Yeah,
you really, really have to be careful with a lot of things. And even when they take other people's faces, other people's voices, there's
yeah, that's scary. It can be
be
scary.
really scary. So you really have to be careful. So with the way technology is evolving, it's a risk, a higher risk for fraud and for hacking and identity
Setting
theft and
you
stuff
up.
like
Let me
that.
stop.
So we have to kind of continually educate ourselves and be aware, continue to get training if you're going to be on the internet, because as quick as they're coming out with stuff, there are people coming out with ways how to con you out of it too. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
all
and you
real
got it.
fast.
Like I said, it's a double-edged sword, but I do think, with using it properly, like, sometimes I'll go in there and if I need to write out, I already have my topics, but I wanted to write out
Yes,
more details for me to keep, especially if you're a writer or you're
yes,
like I said earlier, a creative person, and you need to jog your brain because sometimes you might have a lot going on and you don't have
yep,
the time to think. That's where I think those things come in, but I wouldn't lean on it too much. It's kind of like every once in a while, remember to learn. Remember, we used to know everybody's phone numbers.
yes,
We don't know. No, you didn't even need to look in the phone. You just would type it. But and then it's like a catch 22. I don't know if that's is that using the brain for no reason, but like just
yeah.
sometimes make it your own. Like if I really need to get something done and I need to write this out and I'm just like going through it for maybe I'm tired, exhausted, maybe yeah. But you want to also continue to utilize it because the more you are authentic with your work, it actually fuels the AI better because it's still giving it the opportunity to really know who to create for you the way that you would. But you got to still create for them to get that.
And you know what? When I use it and I ask it to do something for me and it gives me a response, sometimes I'll come back and say, okay, that sounds like you. Can you make it sound like me?
Yeah.
It's funny because you're talking to it. It's like Alexa and Siri. We're living in the Stone Age, cars driving themselves. Do you remember the Jetsons? We're living in that era right now.
Living, yes. I literally just said that to somebody like, man, it's literally the Jetsons in real time.
Yeah, we're living it. But I will say this for our children, we have to. It's kind of sad for them because we came up with long division, rotary dials. They have everything so quick, and then that's why mental health is at an all-time high because they think everything is supposed to happen rapidly, and then they get burnt out because they stress out because they didn't have to think about it. Like we had to think things through. We had to figure stuff
Yeah.
out. We had encyclopedia. We didn't have Google. You know, so we
And,
have to
and we
really.
and we got to remember that this next generation is probably the first generation that will not know life without the internet.
That's
Where
right.
sometimes, like, we are blessed because, you could be sitting here like, man, I've been online too much. And you pause and step away because you know what life is like without it. When I put
Yes.
my phone in the charger, I get a lot of stuff done. I'll get into
Yeah.
the gardening, take care of something in the house. When you two, and I'm really sorry, this month when like my boys, I'm really happy that they're not like social media junkies for real. Like one of my oldest, I don't even think he'd be online. And you can see the difference with people when they actually have their own mind and
Yes.
use, they still watch podcasts, they still do stuff and go on to Instagram, they still do those things. But when you are, I do fear for the kids who think the world doesn't exist without a tablet. The world doesn't exist without connecting. And then, men and women just in a relationship dynamic. Like, I don't know how people do online dating. It's so frustrating to me. Like, I can't do it. But how many back in the day you used to be annoyed because somebody might try to holler at you and they
Right.
wait till you get passed down the street to be like, yo, what's up?
Yeah.
Whatever. The approach thing back in the day, like a lot of men and women don't do that anymore, or they'll be in the bar or so. Let's say you out and you at the bar or you at the lounge, and then you wait till I leave to find me online to send me a message like,
Yeah. Yeah.
no, say
Yeah.
something in person, So
It's
those
a
are the
lot.
things that I do. Again, I love, and I got a whole book on social media. I do think it is a tool for us to utilize to enhance our lives and businesses for sure. But like I said, it's still, I just hope that the generation that has it and never knew without it can still disconnect. I think we need to teach our kids and our future children to disconnect, because the
Yes.
last secret in my book is to get offline.
Get
The fifth,
offline.
the
Take it
fifth,
offline. Yes, that's it.
well, the 15th secret is get offline, because you can't create content without being online. Now, AI, that's the thing that's a little scary about AI. Because with AI, you can create whatever now. You can make a video and it look like you here. But true content, true authentic content cannot be created if you stuck online. You got to be doing something. You got to have an event. You got to network. You got to do something to get the actual content. So get offline, y'all. Get offline.
Yeah, get offline. Wow. And then I didn't want to overlook your other book. What was it? Marquita?
Marquita's Lost Diary. So my middle name is Marquita, and I used to journal a lot. Actually, those classes I was talking about earlier when I was in New Jersey, every Wednesday they would encourage you to journal. And at the time, we had, like, I used to be a part of this group called the Billionaire Mastermind Forum, and they were talking about writing books and how to do it, all this different stuff. And I didn't realize that these journal entries that I was creating, not about my life, but, well, it was about my life, but I'll be sitting there and I'll notice something. I was really observant. Like, I was on a train one day and going to Long Island to see two of my friends, Mike and Taisha, and my string was hanging on my, like, a string came out. So I'm pulling the string, and I started noticing that the whole blouse started raveling. I was like, oh,
Wow.
let me leave it alone. I gotta cut it off. And then that moment, it was a lesson that if you keep pulling on strings, you'll ruin the whole blouse. Or
Wow.
like in relationships, if you keep pulling and not letting things go, sometimes you salvage the whole relationship. And that's
Wow.
how the stories became Marquita's Lost Diary. So
Wow.
both books are available on Amazon. Marquita's Lost Diary is my first book. 10 Social Media Secrets is just the beginning of the 15. 15 is just like part two. And then Healthy is Sexy.
Wow, you can visit, but if you go to the website, you can find everything, right? If they go to zglobalmedia.com, the links for all your books and everything there. The consultation form is there. The event is there for the vision board, everything. Can they get you everything through this website?
Yes, everything is on there. The only thing that's not on there is the child care, which again, I keep that completely separate. I put that link
Right.
there. But yes, anything about social media, influencing, business development. If you want a free consultation, you can go right to that site. I do want to give a shameless plug to my girl Lucrece, because I get so many compliments on my website. I did not
Yes.
create that website. But if you would need a website to be created, you can check her out at destiny31.com. She has pretty reasonable prices. It is an investment, but you'll get the result that you see from my site. So,
Yeah, and
yeah.
I'm telling you, she does an amazing job, because as soon as I saw the website, I did that. I'm going to allow you to land the plane and give us some closing remarks about everything, because you gave us a lot of nuggets in regards to the books, in regards to network marketing, in regards to starting a business, in regards to online, everything. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the work. If you want to see what this young lady has done, just to give you a quick glance, I mean, the website is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, if
Yeah,
you
she
look
did a
here,
great job.
how she did it, if you look at everything here, the way you go down, it's really amazing. I mean, she did good. And like you said, you can go here, you can click to get the book, and it's everything there. You can definitely schedule your consultation if you would like her to help you with any of the things that you heard her talk about. Schedule and get an introductory call. Is there a phone number that you want to tell the people, or you just want them to go here to this website and do it here?
If they want to contact me, they definitely can. I can be reached at 919-867-0201. Again, I'll put that in the chat too. 919-867-0201 is my business line.
So here's what I'm going to allow you to do. I want to thank you so much for taking the time. It is a lot happening, y'all. It's a lot out here. You need a person like Zakira to help you, redirect you if you need some help. Or sometimes it gets overwhelming because of the evolution, right? It's information overload. So there's a lot of areas she can help you. And so I'm going to allow her to give closing comments and kind of give you a recap of the services she provides, her contact information, and how she can be available to you for any of the things that you may need her for. And I just want to thank you for coming through. I'm so proud of you for everything you've done. Your
Thank
son,
you.
like,
I'm proud of you
amazing.
too, man. You be killing it,
Yeah.
Chris. I'm trying to be like you when I grow up.
Listen, man. We all have to keep, doing what we're doing. I can't get out there on that football field though, but I'm exercising now. Woo, I'm exercising, but I have to, girl. I'll be 66 on my next birthday, so I got to try to keep going. I got to try to keep going.
Amazing. I would have
Girl,
never
when you
guessed
get
that.
here, you have to keep moving. The trick is keep moving and eat right. Eat right. That's it. But I truly, truly am grateful for you, and I thank you for sharing all this great information. But give us a summation of everything, so kind of anybody who comes back and does the replay, they kind of know who you are, how they can reach you, and what services you provide for everybody. And I'll give you the opportunity to do that so that they'll know, and we'll have that for you. Okay, one moment. I'll put the camera on you.
All right. Well, thank you again for having me, Crystal, at Storytime with Shout Crystal. My name is Ikira Casado, and I'm a serial entrepreneur. If you need any help with your social media or business development, you can reach me at zglobalmedia.com. Again, zglobalmedia.com. Schedule a free consultation and see what service fits you perfectly, and we can help you go from A to Z. Also, if you want to follow me on all social media, you can follow me at Zakira, which is my first name, or also want to encourage you guys to definitely please follow my podcast, which is Z Truth Podcast. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, Apple Podcasts. We have a lot of great content available every Wednesday at 6 a.m. A new episode will drop. So definitely check out Z Truth Podcast. And again, thank you so much, Crystal, for the opportunity. And I want to just encourage every person that's watching this to remember that it's okay to be great. And if you have that gnawing idea that keeps hitting the back of your head and you keep thinking about it year after year, that's the universe, that's God telling you that you need to step forward. And if you need that help to take that first step, definitely hit us up at zglobalmedia.com.
And you heard it right there. You heard it right here on Storytime. My name is Crystal. I am your Hope Catalyst. My mission is to stir up the gift, instill hope, and save lives. We're here on Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern on Sunday nights. No story is too small. We want to hit them all, okay? Your story matters. So please contact us. Leave us a comment. Make sure you subscribe and say, I have a story. God bless you. I love you, Zakira.
I love you too.
Story time. Happy holidays, everybody. Don't forget to contact her if you want to help at Ballher's Choice Sport. Don't forget it's right there, screenshot it, Ballher's Choice Sport. Don't forget to go. And we'll see you on the next story time. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
A catalyst for change with the chance to thrive. Crystal is the one to stir up gifts and save lives. You get exposure, promotion, and marketing too. And advertise for business owners just like you. On Storytime, your interview is global. Virtual or in person, just come on the show. Yo, your story matters. Crystals will open the door. 40 years of experience, ready to give you more on Storytime. Get ready for Storytime. Hey, come on.